Hey guys, this is Jose once again with Swag Academy. Today we're going to be talking about Bumble profiles. I'm going to give you all the ins and outs of a Bumble profile, what it looks like. I'm going to break it down for you. We're going to look at three primary components of it. I want to show you not just what it looks like and how it works, but also give you some examples of some good Bumble profiles that I've seen, both for guys and girls. So let's get started. I just want to let you know this screen capture or shot. This is from this is a desktop view, so I'm on a laptop. It ideally looks a little bit different on a cell, which is, I assume, how most people use it, myself included. But for the purpose of this video, we have the feed on the side, and then we're gonna go into my profile in just a second. But I want to start off by talking about the bio part, which is one of the three components. So as with just about any dating app, Bumble will have will give you the space to fill out your bio for you to put in pretty much whatever you want. So we're going to go through some examples here of some bios that stood out for me that I liked. So this girl put a short little blurb there and basically just said what she's looking for. She just needs somebody to help her decorate her Christmas tree. So I thought that was pretty funny. I like that. Nice and brief and to the point. I like bios that are something like this. They're, nicely indented short paragraphs, quotes, and this girl's just sort of quoting what a lot of people that know her think about her, which I think is creative. It's a nice little way of sort of pitching yourself. It's kind of like saying, hey, here's my references. This is what other people think about me. I'm a pretty cool person. People like this that think outside the box and sort of get creative with their bio, I find will get more connections, more matches, more attention from people that are swiping, as opposed to just saying, something very boring and mundane. So those are the kind of bios that I like to see personally. Actually, let's jump over to mine for a second here, because this is a screenshot sort of an old, I think a little bit outdated, but for me, when you're editing, you'll see the pictures that you've already put on your profile. As you see mine, you can just click and drag them if you want to put them in a different order, if you want a different one to be your primary. And then the bio is sort of right below. This is sort of what I've written out on my own. And then, if you're the person that's seeing my bio, this is what you would see. I like trying to keep it short and fitting it all on one screen or one page. That's ideally what I would recommend. And then, if somebody wants to get to know me more, then they can certainly reach out. I like having a nice little funny, pickup line or something at the beginning just to catch people's attention, and I do get a lot of good reactions from that. I'm actually going to come back to that. This is what it may have looked at another time. And again, so one thing to keep in mind, the bio and the profile sort of go hand in hand. The bio is what's basically a blank page for you to fill out and write whatever the heck you want and then put that down. And then the profile is going to be all these little logistics here, basically, your height, your lifestyle, your education, do you drink, do you smoke, do you have pets, do you want family, do you want kids, do you have kids, what's your zodiac sign, stuff like that. The app will prompt you to fill that out. And as you do, it'll tell people your stats, I guess, if you want to call it that. But I think it's equally important because obviously people want to know that. So I wouldn't leave it blank. I would fill it out. And then just some pictures. We're going to come back to this in just a second because there's something important about this, but let's come back. I want to look at something that is within your settings, which is equally as important and sometimes overlooked within Bumble, and that's your personality profile. And this is triggered by a series of personality questions. Now, Bumble didn't have this originally. I started using it I think a couple years ago, and they didn't have this. I used to sort of come up with my own, believe it or not, and just put some random facts about myself out there. And then when they introduced this, I thought it was awesome because there are dozens and dozens of these. For those of you who, are at a loss for words, maybe you don't know what to put on your profile or what to say about yourself, you can use these. They allow you to use up to 5 at a time, but the cool thing is that you can rotate them. You can change them at any time. So if you want to, update it bi-weekly or monthly or whatever, you can certainly do that. Here are some examples of questions that you can take the quiz on And then as you answer it, I'm going to show you what it looks like in the profile. But these are the questions that are all generated by Bumble. Some really fun, interesting questions, stuff that, people would never really think of themselves or just wouldn't make the effort to. And I mean, you can certainly pause the video if you want to read them one by one. I'm not going to read them all for you, but there are some really cool questions there that will give people a better insight into sort of what you're all about. And we're going to come back to this because this is my favorite part of Bumble Profiles is obviously the pictures. It's what everybody looks at the most. It's where it grabs our attention. We want to see who we're matching with, what the person looks like. The bio is important, obviously, is along with the profile. And then the personality settings will basically, let me see if I have that here, because what you guys are going to notice as I go back to this is as I've answered those questions in the personality profile, it fills it up and it puts it as sort of a header or footer above my picture. So it blends in. People can see my pictures, but they can also see my go-to song is R. Kelly, right? So that's cool. And then they can see, what's the other one? We'll get along if you see the silver lining in every cloud. So in other words, I like people that are optimists and are positive, not negative. My favorite quality in a person is ambition. I changed these guys. I mean, there's probably not the same questions right now, but that's certainly what it would look like. I don't even know what I have right now, to be honest. So this is where you would edit the profile. And as I mentioned, the pictures can be moved around. This is going to look totally different. I almost don't want to go into this because I know most people will use it in their cell phone. So what you're seeing right now is probably not what you're going to see. We're not going to talk about the settings because that's sort of what happens in the background. I'm going to make a different video for the settings and the search filters and all that stuff. But yeah, even as I'm refreshing this, I'm getting new messages here or a new match, which is cool. Always good. Okay, the last thing I want to touch on is the coolest thing here. Now, guys, I see beautiful women on Bumble all the time, and, that's great. But I was really impressed with this girl because she really put an effort into her profile pictures. And, yeah, I was super impressed because, obviously, she's gorgeous, but putting that aside, her pictures are they seem almost like they're professionally taken, or maybe it's just a camera phone, but just the backdrop is beautiful. You'll see the ones in her. This is what I think, you should try to, if you're very serious about your dating life and, finding somebody, put the effort. I mean, look at this girl. The backdrop there with that chair and the flowers is beautiful. And the pictures just get better. They're very bright, nice lighting. Obviously, it helps that she has nice features. But I think even if it was just an average looking girl, if the quality of these pictures was just as nice, and just the setting, she's in different settings, indoor, outdoor. She's out on the beach here having a little lunch, wearing a nice dress, drinking a glass of wine, always seems happy and smiling. Beautiful picture with the dogs. These are like almost like a little family portrait here. Girl likes to dress nice. She has a nice fashion sense. Kudos to this girl, whoever she is. Just an example I wanted to bring because, both guys and girls can do this. Take the time, take some good shots, get a friend to snap some if you're really looking for somebody. This one's nice with all the flowers. I don't know what kind of flowers these are, but. And then there you go. Last picture there with the waterfront behind her, wearing looks like maybe a bridesmaid's dress or something. But yeah, if you ever go to a wedding, perfect opportunity to take pictures and use them on your dating profile. Last thing I wanted to just sort of put out there, that for any of you who are concerned with not only your security I guess it's primarily for women, but your security and your safety when you're connecting and matching with people, and also just for the purpose of avoiding being catfished by other people, Bumble did introduce this feature, which is called Verify Myself. So they'll send that to you with a little instruction to, take a picture of yourself doing a certain hand gesture or something. And what they're trying to do is verify that, number one, you're a real person. And number two, you are who you say you are. You look the way you say you look. And once you've done that, you are considered a verified user. So then people that are finding you, swiping you, know that they're talking to the real person in the pictures, and the pictures are recent. So that's something I'd recommend doing for your Bumble profile. Very important. And just, take an example from what I've shown you here. With the bio portions, I think I missed something really quickly that I wanted to show you guys, because a couple little tips. So again, I aim to try to fit your bio within a page, within a screen page. So if you can fit your bio and your profile within a screen, I think that's a good length. You don't want to have people having to scroll through an entire novel of your life story. And I love people who do this, because this is just so well organized. It's so easy to read. It's like it pops out of the page. It's visually appealing on the eye. This person took the time to say basically, I enjoy, and I value the following things. And the fact that they took the time to put the emojis in there and everything, it's so cool when people take the time to put that creative. You really only have to do it once, right? So once it's there, it's pretty easy to modify, but at least it stands out. It's very visually appealing. It's what copywriters do all the time. So if you can do that, sorry, I missed that little part when I was talking about the bios, but those are your 3 components, guys: your personality profile, your bio, and your pics. If you want to know more, head over to swagacademy.com. I've got tons of training about dating, about love, about relationships, and about all this stuff. So until then, have fun.